Hello, been a while, and not sure what I have to say for myself. Um, been hot here, a little unseasonably, but it happens. I just don't always take it well, even when I stay indoors all day. So that only explains where I've been for a couple of days, though. Excuse me. I went and got a COVID shot probably a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half, because I hadn't gotten one for a long time, and yet I had gotten COVID itself uh, last last summer, and so it seemed like a good idea. And one of my caregivers was pushing me to get out of the house, so did that. And of course, half my reason of never going to get the shot is never feeling fully well, and therefore thinking I don't want to make myself feel worse. But with the weather having gotten better, um, I was able to convince myself to go get a shot. And I, the following day, felt pretty much my normal self. But then 2 days later, I was just hit with worse aversion than everything from my normal self, uh, including pain and fatigue, my main problems. Sorry, I just decided to come on here in whatever condition I was in today. So then I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel well for several more days after that, and had to attribute it to the shot. Um, and then, well, as it happened was my therapist canceled on me last minute, and I was upset about that because I had a rough week that week, and I asked to speak to someone at her agency, and they didn't return my call. So I called again, I guess, the next day, and they finally returned my call at about 6 at night when I was out at a belated Easter dinner with a couple of my family members. But of course I took the call anyway, and it was an administrative assistant that they had called me, which I found a little, nothing against administrative assistants, but they don't usually supervise therapists, and so I would say I was a little disappointed that that was who they sent, and that didn't go well. But I was still left, either dealing with that therapist who'd been disappointing me for a while, or having no one. So somehow I got to a point, I got in the mail a letter of whatever they would call it, discontinuing me from their agency, and not signed by my therapist or former therapist. And if I wanted to appeal that decision, I could write a letter to the director, or if I wanted to return in the future, I could call the intake person, I think, and ask to be seen by the next available person. But it also turned out that I have a person who prescribes medicine for me at that agency. So that wasn't good, that could be dropped. They gave me one more appointment. So that was all upsetting, but luckily I have a visiting nurse every day, and she offered to help me. But if I emailed her my letter, she would print it and mail it to the boss, whoever that was over there. And she would also call the person who prescribed my medicine, because she has a contact with that person. They're both nurses, but the one who prescribed the medicine is a nurse practitioner. So by the next day, all of a sudden, I got a call. This one was at 7 o'clock at night, though, not 6. I wonder if there's a management book or website or place where they actually write these policies down, or just all word of mouth to do things like this. Anyway, 7 o'clock at night, I got a call from this person who said she was the director, and she would, if I wanted to get another therapist, she would make that happen. But if I didn't want to stay, then of course she would not make that happen. And I mentioned that I needed the nurse, but that didn't go over well. But she said, okay, we'll set you up. It might take a couple of weeks because the therapist's on vacation, but you'll hear from us. So then that continued to fall into place. At least I heard then from the intake person, and the therapist would see me in a couple of weeks, and so would the nurse. And by the way, seeing means talking on the phone for these last few years, but I was told by the director, I think, that I should be seen by telemedicine, which I guess means actually having you on video, but not all of my other doctors do that, so I didn't complain. So I said, it's all right with me. I use Zoom all the time for some of my appointments and support groups and whatever. No one just asked me to do it. So that's where it leaves off, and trying to kind of, stabilize the ship before all that starts again. And there's another medical appointment next week with a new doctor in another area, but maybe I'll talk about that next time because it's a little bit of another area, I guess. So, hope you're having a good, maybe better season weather-wise, if not otherwise. Thanks. Bye.